Good evening, everyone, or good morning, depending on where you are. So it's a great opportunity for me to be here and deliver this opening remark and such a brilliant theme of the discussion today. As someone who's directly involved in the academia of the Nepalese engineering sector, I'm glad to be also introducing a few things about some of history and also the present of the mechanical and aerospace engineering sector and overall the engineering sector in Nepal. I'll briefly introduce you to how we started developing the engineering sector in Nepal from the very beginning. So myself, as you can see on the screen, I've put together 2 slides so that I can have at least something in the background when I'm talking about our discussion topic today. So I work at the Institute of Engineering, Tribhuvan University. Tribhuvan University is the oldest university in Nepal. It was founded now about, I think we're coming to about 70, 80 years now. And it was, founded in one location in Lalitpur district of Nepal, and then it got expanded all over the country. Establishing campuses that are specialized as well as general in nature. So altogether, we have at the moment about upwards of 1,000 campuses in the country. So it's one of the biggest universities in the world. So I work at the Institute of Engineering, which is the engineering division of the university. And within that division, we have the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. And very recently, a few months ago, I got the opportunity to be the head of the department. Specifically, I belong to the Aerospace Engineering Division of faculty within that department, but now I look after both mechanical and aerospace engineering. Now, aerospace engineering in general has mostly just been about aviation in Nepal. I mean, that's a struggling sector even now, but if you were talking about aerospace engineering in Nepal, say 10 years ago, people would just be pointing you to the aviation sector of Nepal. And early engineers and aeronautical engineers of Nepal, they all studied abroad. They studied in UK, the Soviet Union, India. And then there was a wave of people who studied abroad and then brought in all that expertise into the country. So this happened about 40, 50 years ago. And that's what established all that brain gain that we received back in the days. That established the engineering sector in the country. And so the building that you see in the photo, so that's the Department of Mechanical Aerospace and Engineering building at the foreground. And that was built about 50 years ago. 1972 was the year when I think we had civil engineering there, and then mechanical engineering took over. So all these people who established the department here, they were all people who studied abroad, got training like some of us have done now. But there was, for a while, a gap in that brain gain due to several reasons. And so what happened then was we started slowly losing some of the pace that we were catching up in the sector. Fortunately, in the past 10 or 15 years, what has happened very organically is we've re-emerged as engineering in particular has re-emerged as a sector which is getting quite a lot of brain gain. And I'm very glad to say, and we're quite fortunate in this, I'm glad to say that mechanical and aerospace engineering, and particularly aerospace engineering, has been a sector where we've actually received quite a lot of new skill from people who have studied abroad. And I think the space sector in Nepal is testament to that trend at the moment. Now, brain drain, of course, is a huge issue in the country. And so the challenges we face at the moment is trying to figure out how do we redevelop the sector that got developed about 50 years ago in Nepal. Now, how do we rebuild and how do we reestablish all the culture, all the pace that was caught up about 50 years ago, and also the relationships. So at the foundation of everything that we did back then, and I love history. I love the history of my institute. I absolutely love every room inside the building where some milestone had taken place in every corner of this building in the engineering sector of the country. And the relationship we had with the rest of the world was very, very important for how we grew back then. And so I think talking about all of this in the meeting today makes me realize that perhaps in addition to the brain game that I've just mentioned, where we are now trying to reestablish our expertise, develop our skills, and also reestablishing our relationships with the international community. In a meeting like this, mentioning the kind of aspirations we have at the moment is in itself quite, I think, quite revealing and also almost cathartic in nature. So, having said that, can you please go to the next slide, Ida? So I'll keep talking while that's happening. So where we are with the space sector in Nepal at the moment, I think the best person to be mentioning this would either be Dr. Abbas Maske or Dr. Rakesh Chandra Prajapati, who are both pioneers of the space sector. In academia, what we have done is we have grown aerospace engineering in Nepal from the foundation of mechanical engineering. So this happened about 10 years ago. And as I mentioned, 10 years ago, if you're talking about aerospace in Nepal, people would be pointing you to the aviation sector. But since the past 10 years, we have started branching out and almost engulfing the aviation sector within the existing aerospace umbrella. So we grew out of mechanical engineering because we had the resources and expertise already there. And then just with a few handful of manpower, we started growing aerospace in the country. We have master's program that support our students. Our first batch of aerospace engineers just graduated. And we also provide opportunities for PhD degrees if candidates are willing to take their PhD research. And at the moment, as I mentioned, we are looking outwards. We are looking for international relationships. And so we have actually already established networks and ways to earn international grants that can support our research. Well, BE aerospace, or the bachelor's level aerospace engineering in Nepal, is quite important to us. And through UNISEC, last year I myself got the opportunity to take part in the CLTP 11 training. And as an outsider to the space sector in particular, to satellites and everything, so that was quite a unique opportunity for me. So what we have done this year is we have taken a group of BE aerospace students, and we have made them participate in the Mission Idea Contest, the 8th Mission Idea Contest. And I think that's one way for us to involve our students directly in satellite competitions as well. We are quite also aware and constantly trying to think about how we can increase the diversity of thought as well as diversity of the composition of our students in the classroom. Now, Nepalese government is actually quite liberal in this regard. We have quotas and we have established mechanisms where people from all backgrounds can come and study in our institute, and we provide full scholarships, provide special provisions for people from all the different backgrounds to come and study aerospace. And I think it must be an indication of something bright to come in the future. The latest batch of students that we just took in aerospace engineering degree has more than 25% of female students. And that's actually quite a record in mechanical and aerospace engineering sector. So hopefully that trend grows. And we are very keen to look for ways to increase that percentage. And we are keen to participate in any activities that help us become more inclusive. And so with that, I want to welcome everyone once again. And then I'm very keen and look forward to all the presenters and the presentations that we have today. Thank you.